And this research that turmeric can modulate the activation of various immune cells as well as enhance the body's antibody response, which essentially strengthens the immune system. And with a strengthened immunity, you will be able to stay healthy and be able to maintain an active lifestyle.
And a study from India.com article published that neem can help you in fighting against coronavirus. And it says that neem is an important part of Ayurveda, and neem can be effective in dealing with the novel coronavirus infection.
And turmeric and neem are also effective against coronavirus, according to a KPMG study.
And now let us see the fifth step, which is with complete mind, applying banana peel and onions on your heels before going to sleep.
So you can go ahead and put onion in the heel and put a sock around this, and it's a very simple way of just detoxifying your entire body. You can do the same with the banana peel. Just wrap it around your heel, and you can put a sock over this and go to sleep like this, and this will completely detoxify your body and, of course, protect you from COVID-19, as Devi Parashakti has revealed. And Medical Daily has also published an article on the detoxifying effects of onion, and it states that onions contain a high amount of sulfur compounds, which not only give onions their recognizable smell, but also they are powerful detoxifying agents. And with more than 100 sulfur-containing compounds, which are what cause the eyes to tear, onion can help prevent and treat ailments from diabetes to heart disease. And this is why it's very well known in Ayurveda for its medicinal purposes, and that is its primary use in Hinduism. And an article published reviewing the detoxifying effects of onion, published in the Journal of Phytotherapy, has stated that compounds from onions have been reported to have a range of health benefits, which include anti-carcinogenic properties, anti-platelet activity, anti-thrombotic activity, anti-asthmatic, and antibiotic effects.
So now let us look at the sixth step, which is being in the space, in an unclutched state filled with eternal bliss. So let us now watch a video on how the Supreme Point of Hinduism reveals the science of unclutching.
The brain is the organ which controls our whole physical being. Once our brain has been imbalanced, it will then transmit that imbalance throughout the whole body. Thought forms are pure energy that have the ability to influence people and everyday events in life. According to science, our brains generate an electromagnetic field which may be measured by such instruments as an encephalograph. This electromagnetic field is generated by the brain every time we think, and as our mind is never still, we may be compared to perpetual power generators. Fear produces nervous disorders. Anger produces headaches and violence. Confused thoughts produce congestion and ill health. Depression causes cancer, tumors, mental diseases, and lowering of the immune system, causing death through own willpower. Our thoughts generate intricate energy patterns which can be detected by sensitive equipment and seen by clairvoyant individuals. These energy patterns are known as thought forms. Surprisingly, thought forms are shaped by the thoughts themselves. Each of us creates hundreds of thought forms every hour and release them into the environment. Although we cannot see them, The thought forms have as real an existence as any other form of energy. Most people can sense others' thought forms, and a continuous energetic exchange happens between people about which we are usually unaware. This also explains why we sometimes take a sudden liking or dislike to a certain person directly on meeting them. We just catch their vibes. Unclutching is a guide for equanimity and enlightenment. Thoughts are like bubbles in a fish tank. Just as bubbles in a fish tank rise from the bottom, our thoughts also rise in the same manner. When one bubble comes and reaches the surface of the water, the next bubble starts and the third bubble starts. Because the bubbles are rising at high speed, they look like a continuous stream. But our mind is not a continuous stream. There is always a gap between two thoughts. Like the bubbles, we also experience a neutral space between two thoughts. This neutral space between two thoughts is our original state, the pure silence. It is a state of pure consciousness, the state of God. Since the gap or the neutral space between two thoughts is too small, we think all thoughts are connected and form a shaft. But there is always a gap between two thoughts. In the forest of northern India, the hunters trap the birds using a trap. They tie a rope between two trees. The rope is the shaft that we create by connecting two thoughts. In the middle of the rope, they secure a wooden stick. The stick is our mind. The rope is tied at the midpoint of the stick. When a bird comes and sits on the stick, the bird's own weight turns the whole stick upside down. It turns topsy-turvy. The moment it turns upside down and loses its sense of balance, it feels totally shaken and tightens its grip on the stick. It simply holds onto the stick as if its life depends on it. Similarly, we connect thoughts and form a shaft out of it and live in the fear that if we drop our mind, we might be lost. We might lose our identity. Because it is hanging upside down, it thinks, if I unclutch from this stick, I will fall and die. It's similar to the fear that if we start trusting that we are unconnected, unclutched, independent and illogical thoughts, we might be lost. If the bird lets go and relaxes, it may flutter to balance for a moment or two. When it leaves the stick, maybe for a few seconds, it will fall, but then it will adjust itself and start flying. In the same way, we hold on to whatever we think is our identity and security, our education, our mind, our life, our relationships, or our bank balance. Ultimately comes to remove the stick that is our identity. Just like the bird, we don't realize that if we drop our mind, at that moment we can become a Paramahamsa. That very moment we can be liberated. In Mundaka Upanishad, there is a story which explains, there is a huge tall tree, and in the tallest branch of the tree, there is a golden bird sitting unclutched from everything in bliss, like Dakshinamurti. In the lower level branch, there is a small bird which jumps from here and there to various branches eating fruits. When it eats a bitter fruit, it feels bad. Whenever she eats the bitter fruit, she sees the bird which is looking above, silently, like Dakshinamurti, and feels, why I should not be like that bird. But unfortunately, when the same bird, when it eats tasty fruit, it forgets the bird sitting above it. In the same way, she keeps battling between branches, eating bitter and tasty fruits again and again. One day, as a small bird flies up higher, and as it reaches near the golden bird, it realized that he and she are the same. There is no difference between them both and realizes her original state. The small bird realizes that she also can be in the same state of the golden bird and become a Paramahamsa. This moment, trust yourself. Don't bother about losing your identity. Just Trust yourself and let go of your identity. You will immediately become a Paramahamsa and be liberated. All you need to do is to trust that you're unclutched. Dropping the conclusions you can't be transformed is unclutching.
Yes, so we all just understood what is the science of unclutching.
Yes.
And whenever you
Understood the science of unclutching. If you would like to experience this beautiful science as revealed by the Supreme Consciousness, you can take a few moments in your day to sit with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes and chant the Mahavakya intensely. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Do not engage with any thoughts or emotions. Purely let the space of untouching manifest in you. Chant the Mahavakya Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So you can go ahead and also watch and listen to the Mahavakya on YouTube and just spend a few moments in your day at any point experiencing the space of unclutching. And when you do that, you can also log your minutes for peace at kailasa.tv/minutes, the number 4 peace, that's minutes for peace. And we will be projecting that link to you in a few moments. So you can go ahead and experience this beautiful science of unclutching. Protected with this beautiful science as revealed by the Supreme Consciousness.
So now let us see the seventh step, the seventh method, which is to do the ajapa japa of the cosmic sound Shiva, Shiva, Shiva.
And a study conducted by the U.S. National Library of Medicine on the benefits of chanting clearly shows that ajapa japa chanting has a direct and positive benefit for the physical health and mental well-being. The study correlates the chanting of the ajapa japa to the vagus nerve stimulation used as a treatment for depression and epilepsy.
So here you can see the study results. And another study conducted by Dr. Masaru Emoto establishes that human intentions, words, or thoughts can change the molecular structural formation in water. And this interesting research clearly depicts how, when the water is being exposed to positive sounds, vibrations, the molecular formation in the water changes to a pleasant formation, whereas any negative vibration or words can disfigure or distort the water molecular formation.
And here you can see the pictorial depictions of how the water molecular formations respond to different words that are being uttered. So you can see compassion, thank you, wisdom, and how beautiful the water molecular formation is. And compare that to negative sounds or vibrations like heavy metal music or words like I will kill you in your pool, where the water becomes disintegrated, disformed, and disfigured. And you can imagine what happens inside of your body, which is composed of up to 60% water, when you chant the Ajaba Ajaba, the chanting of the powerful sacred mantra. So you can also become a part of the Unclutching Initiative. So while you are either experiencing the science of unclutching or you are chanting the Ajaba Ajaba, you can fill out your minutes for peace at kailasa.tv/minutes, the number 4 peace, and go ahead and log your minutes and ensure that you are continuously experiencing these beautiful sciences, unclutching and Ajaba Ajaba. And the Supreme Concept of Hinduism has revealed that if 10,000 people can do this just for 3 months, we can give such a powerful, super conscious breakthrough to the whole of humanity. Because all of us are interconnected. We are not all islands. These are all fundamental truths. When you start unclutching, Kailasa starts experiencing the joy, the bliss of you unclutching, Nothing goes to waste in this cosmos. So not only will you be protected from COVID-19 by practicing untouching and doing the Ajabajba, but you will, the whole cosmos will experience this untouching, and it will bring a powerful superconscious breakthrough to humanity. The more and more people that practice it. The last method is revealed by Devi Parashakti is being in the state beyond any remembrance or forgetting. In the Arunachal Surana that blossoms as Aham, Aham in the Ananda Surana. So this is the last method that Devi has revealed. And beautiful way to just constantly being in that space of remembering divine, of remembering Devi, of remembering Swamiji. And in that constant space where you are beyond having to actively remember and beyond forgetting. So this alone can protect you from COVID-19. And each of these methods revealed by Devi Parashakti can protect you independently from COVID-19. So you can use any of these to make sure that you are staying safe during this time and that you and your family are protected. And one of the ways that Devi Parashakti has revealed that you can protect yourself from COVID-19 is by praying Devi Parashakti and meditating upon her. And the easiest way to do this is to connect with Devi. And in this next segment, we will be understanding how we can connect with Devi, how we can pray to her and meditate upon her through the various offerings that we can make to Devi Parashakti. So we will be entering into this offering segment very shortly. And we will be understanding the various offerings that you can make to Devi Parashakti. And each of these offerings is just a small token of your love and appreciation and gratitude for Devi Parashakti, for Swamiji, for happening in your life. So stay tuned for this next segment and understand how you too connect with Devi and offer your love and devotion to her.
Nithyananda. Now let us see the various offerings, the traditional offerings that we can offer to Devi Parashakti as we get ready to receive her darshan today. And the tradition of offering to the divine in the Vedic tradition is a gift of pure love, devotion, and oneness to the divine. And the offerings are not made out of fear or greed, but it is made out of the pure expression of sacred sentiments from the devotee to the divine. And when an avatar lands, the offerings are purely a part of the grand Leela played out for the purpose of enlightenment. And as we prepare to receive the darshan of Devi Parashakti, let us remember Devi Parashakti, let us contemplate on the splendor of her form and her grace and compassion as we get ready to receive her darshan. And this Dhyana Shloka describes the grace and splendor of Devi Parashakti. This verse from the Mula Agama Manonmani Dhyana describes Induni Bhaveda Karavanni Nayanam Syat Pankaja Varabhaya Japakshara Sarayuktam Angahima Bhushana Vichitra Vasanam Syat Tungama Kutojvala Manonmani Swarupam. And the Dhyana Shloka for this verse, it says, the moon-like face holding the Veda books on hand, fire in eyes, with lotus flower gracing and blessing hands, and one hand with Japamala, beautifully decorated with jeweled ornaments and wonderful clothes and shining crown. Her name is Manonmani. And another Dhyana Shloka on Devi Parashakti describes ध्यायेत् देवीं त्रिनेत्रां शशिनिभवदनां वेदहस्तां ददानां सव्ये पद्मां वरदमपरे चाभ्यं चाक्षमालां दिव्यैराभरणैर्विभूषिततनुं ब्रह्मादिभिः पूजितां देवीमेव मनोन्मणिं प्रतिदिनं कामार्थदात्रीं शुभाम्. And the meaning of this verse, it says, I meditate on Devi with 3 eyes, glowing like a moon, and holding the Veda and lotus, and gracing with blessing and gracing hands. She is wearing beautiful ornaments. She is worshipped by Brahma and other many gods and showers auspicious boons for all actions every day. And in the Hindu tradition, the element of gold is used in abundance in all the traditional rituals and worship of the divine, in the offerings to the divine, for it has a great significance as a most sacred and divine element. So let us see this verse from the Atharva Veda, which describes the significance of the divine element of gold. This verse says, Tredhajitam janmanedam hiranyam agnerekam priyatamam babhuva somasyaikyam insitasya parapatata apamekam veda samreta ahutatte hiranyam trividastva vaivishe. The translation for this verse, triply born by birth is this gold. From the atoms of Agni is one. It becomes dearest to Agni. One fell away from the Soma when it was hurt. One they call the seed of virtuous and powerful Apa, the watery molecules. Let that triple gold be for your long life. Gold is a divine element in the Hindu tradition. It purifies anything it touches. It is an element of great spiritual significance and spiritual power, of healing and enlightening. The vibration of gold has the power to infuse sattva energy and positive thought currents in anyone who wears it and in anyone who sees or operates in its vicinity. The gold is present in all the Hindu scriptures, the Agamas, the Vedas, the Shrutis, Smritis, Itihasas, Puranas. In all the Hindu scriptures, it is abundantly displayed that gold is the most auspicious and purest metal which purifies our being. In the Hindu civilization, everything was built in gold, exchanged in gold. Ritual feasts were offered in gold bricks. When one was to be saved from life-threatening illnesses, gold was offered as ritual fee. Gold was in abundance and used for weighing equivalent amounts of commodities, including cows. Kingdoms were built with huge doors of gold. The streets would have huge columns and huge archways made of gold. Horses and cows were dressed in gold. The Hindu civilization thrived on the banks of rivers of gold. The Indus River was called Hiranmaya, the river of gold in Rigveda. The river Saraswati was called Hiranyavartini in Atharva Veda. The gold is the supreme element for offering gifts to the ones you love and revere. Temples are constructed and paved in gold. Deities are made in gold and decked and adorned in gold. because it preserves the enlightenment energy for thousands of years and it lasts forever. So today, you can make all of these traditional offerings to Devi Parashakti as you get ready to receive her darshan, and you can make these offerings as your expression of the sacred sentiments, your personal gift to Devi as you get ready to receive her. And just as in every temple in the Vedic tradition, we have the hundi in every temple where devotees can offer any token of gratitude that they wish to offer. We also have the e-hundi offerings where you can offer any token, any kanika that you would like to offer in multiple currencies and in any amount that you wish to. And Devi Parashakti is known as the one who is fond of true devotion. And this verse describes Devi's love for true devotion. It says, Bhakti Priya Bhakti Kamya Bhakti Vashya Bhayapaha Shambhavi Sharadharadhya Sharvani Sharmadaini. The translation for this verse says, Devi is fond of true devotion and is realized through true devotion. She can be won over through true devotion. She removes all fear. If there is any fear in the minds of devotees, Devi is sure to remove that fear. It is stated that Devi likes to be worshipped in autumn. Here, it is meant the autumn of our lives when our thoughts turn more and more inwards. The role of the divine is known and understood clearly. The need for Devi worship then becomes stronger. Shambhavi is the consort of Shambhu, who is Lord Shiva. Sharada Radhya is the one who is worshipped by Devi Sharada herself, Devi Saraswati. Sharvani is the wife of Lord Shiva. The Linga Purana says Lord Shiva is called Lord Sharva in his earth form. Sharmadaini is the Devi who bestows happiness on devotees. And you can make this offering of the e-hundi offerings and express your gratitude and devotion to Devi Parashakti with your kanika in the e-hundi. Be blessed to receive the grace and compassion of Devi Parashakti in your lives.
Next offering is the Sankalpa Chanting, the offering of your conscious resolution. So before you start any endeavor or before anything you want to manifest in your life, you always want to make sure you set a conscious resolution, an intention for exactly what it is you want to manifest. And whenever you offer this to the feet of Devi Parashakti, Swamiji, you will be blessed with the overflowing energy of Devi and Swamiji to manifest exactly what it is you want. And in the Devi Mahatmya, it describes that the goddess enchants this universe, and she herself gives birth to this universe. That goddess being made without interest in anything, gives that knowledge that leads to salvation, gives wealth and materialistic sense. So when you offer your sankalpa to Devi Parashakti, you will be blessed with the fruition of all desires and wishes.
The next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Sahasranama Swarnakasi. And Devi is described in the Lalita Sahasranama as Nama Parayana Prita, she who likes repetition of her various names. And you can make this offering of the Sahasranama Swarnakasi, the offering of the pure gold coin inscribed with one of the 1008 sacred names of Devi Parashakti. And this offering is a special and unique archana offered to the Mahameru of Devi Parashakti. So you can make this offering in any of 3 different denominations, and you can offer any number of gold coins as you would like to offer. And this offering blesses the devotee with imbibing the divine qualities of Devi Parashakti herself, the Ananta Kalyana Gunas as described in her 1008 names. The devotee is blessed to imbibe these very divine qualities of Devi Parashakti herself. So you can make this offering of the Sahasranama Swarnakas on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas.
And the next offering is the Mukta Anguli, the finger ring with pearls. Devi is very well known to be adorned and very fond of pearls. And the pearl, of course, represents Devi's infinite compassion. So when you offer this pearl, Devi Parashakti, you will be blessed with Devi's compassion. And in this verse, it describes, I bow to the goddess Meenakshi, whose crown has garlands of pearls, and the face shining like a full moon, who wears anklets that are studded with gemstones and has small bells, who is shining like the splendor of the lotus, who grants all the wishes, the daughter of the mountain, who is worshipped by goddesses Vani and Dhamma. I remain ever bowing to that goddess Meenakshi, the ocean of compassion. When you offer this finger ring with a pearl, you will be blessed with Devi's infinite compassion and grace in all of your business endeavors.
And the next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower. And in the Kamika Agama, a verse describes the significance of the gold lotus flower. This verse says, Ashtavidyeshwaropeta kumbhavarana samyutam sarve sasutra vastradhya hema pankajabhushitaha sapidhanas satcha kurachascha pakva bilva palaprabha snapanadhyaya samsiddha pramanena samanvitaha. And the translation for this verse, it says all the kalashas should be wound around with suitable thread and covered with new cloth. They should be adorned with a lotus flower made of gold. And there are hundreds of scriptural references for using the lotus in the worship of Paramashiva in the Hindu tradition. Almost everything in the worship of the ultimate involving the consecration of deities of worship or meditating on the mudras and asanas used during worship involves the lotus flower, the lotus leaf, the lotus pericar, the lotus petals. The lotus is a divine flower in the Hindu tradition. The Shakti of Paramashiva is also called a lotus. The base of the Paramashiva Linga is the lotus. The disciple of Paramashiva is also considered a lotus, the one who's about to bloom. So you can offer the gold lotus in any of 3 different sizes that you wish to offer, and be blessed to have the state, space, powers, and being of Devi Parashakti in your inner space amidst any and every adverse situations in life.
The next offering is the Swarna Meti, the gold covering. And in this verse, it describes the power of Devi's feet. It describes you whose brightness is the toenail, destroys the darkness of ignorance from the minds of your devotees, prostrate at your feet. You whose brightness from your 2 feet overpower that of the lotus flower. So when you offer you can see that the power of Devi's very toenails have the power to destroy the darkness of ignorance in the minds of the devotees. So when you offer this Swarnamati at the feet of Devi Parashakti, you will be all the ignorance from your life will be removed, and you will be blessed by Devi Parashakti even in the most difficult aspects of your life.
The next offering to Devi Parashakti is the Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry. Devi is described as Sudha Sharabi Varshini, she who makes the nectar flow in all our nerves from the Sahasrara, she who gives a very pleasant experience of the ultimate. And the Mangtika, the hairline jewelry, represents the overflowing nectar from the Sahasrara, which is fully opened with the sacred sentiment of gratitude. We can make the offering of the Swarna Mangtika to Devi Parashakti and receive the blessings of achieving the blissful state of overflowing gratitude and the space of complete completion. And you can make this traditional offering on the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas.
The next offering is the Pratiksha Pada Puja, the offering of gratitude to the sacred feet of Swamiji, who is manifesting Devi Parashakti for each and every one of us. And in the Saundarya Lahari, it describes that the nails of Devi have been sharpened by constantly being touched by the crowns of the celestial beings who always prostrate before Devi, and Tamogana is darkness. In this stotram, the tamas is indicative of it, the ignorance in the minds of the devotees. And by constantly prostrating before Devi, their ignorance is removed and they attain the ultimate knowledge. So when you offer the Pratikshapada Puja to the sacred feet of Swamiji, you will be blessed with the most sweetest path to enlightenment to attain the ultimate knowledge in your life.
And the next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Vastra Seva. This is the offering of the sacred cloth to Devi Parashakti. And it's the traditional offering that bestows the devotee with the divine protection during all times of their life. So you can offer the Vastra Seva, the offering of the sacred cloth, and be blessed with all the auspiciousness and blessings of Devi Parashakti and the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. And here's a summary of the various offerings that you can make to Devi Parashakti today as you get ready to receive her blessings. And the website for all of these offerings is www.kailasamela.com/sevas. And you can make the offering of the e-hundi, which is an offering of any amount of your choice and in multiple currencies. You can make the offering of the Sankalpa chanting, the conscious resolution, the Devi Sahasranama Kasu, the offering of the pure gold coin with one of the 1008 names of Devi Parashakti inscribed on each coin. The offering of the Mukta Anguti, the gold finger ring embedded with pearl. Offering of the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower. The Swarna Metti, the gold toe ring for the lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. The Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry. The Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the traditional offering of gratitude from devotee to Guru. And the offering of the Vastra Seva, the sacred cloth. And you can make all of these offerings to Devi Parashakti on the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas. So here you see the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas, and you can scroll down and make your offerings to Devi Parashakti as you get ready to receive her darshan today. On the link on step 2, you can make the traditional offerings of the Alankara Seva or any offerings of Seva. And you can click on the link for e-hundi to make your e-hundi offerings. If you would like to make an intention to make an offering and receive Devi Parashakti's blessings to manifest your intention into reality, you can also fill the form on step 1. And if you've made your offerings and you wish to make the sankalpa with your name and the names of your family members, you can fill out the details of the sankalpa on the link on step 3. You can make the e-hundi offerings in multiple currencies: US dollar, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, euros, Indian rupees, Singaporean dollars, Malaysian ringgits, the Great Britain pound, and the Chinese yuan. And you can make the offering in any amount of your choice. You can also make the traditional offerings of the alankaras, the ornaments, or the sevas to Devi Parashakti on the website. So you can make the offering of the Devi Sahasranama Kasu, the Mukta Anguti, the gold finger ring with a pearl, the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower, the Swarna Metti, the gold toe ring, the Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry, the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the Vastra Seva, and all of these traditional offerings you can offer to Devi Parashakti on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And with this, now we'll get ready for the next segment of this program, where we'll be learning more about the various facilities being made available for the well-being of humanity as per the guidance of Devi Parashakti, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, through the various de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa. So let's get ready to receive Devi Parashakti and learn more about the various facilities being made for the care and well-being of humanity. Nithyananda Madhavini Swami.
Nithyanandam, thank you very much, Ma Amrita. Nithyanandam, everyone. So welcome back to this segment. And in this segment, we are going to learn at the Kailasa's COVID care protection centers at the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa. With the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivan's blessings, let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadusham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. So what we learn from this segment today concerning statistics on mental health and global peace across the world due to the COVID-19 pandemic. What are the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Kailasa's contributions for global peace? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's spiritual solutions for COVID-19, Kailasa's COVID care protection centers, why temple-based ecosystems and UN recognizes Kailasa's contributions, join Kailasa's COVID care protection centers. Today, people around the world are trying to grapple with the grim reality that the pandemic is far from over. The aftermath of the current calamity promises to be much more devastating. The greatest economics of the world are facing disastrous futures. Countries are facing off each other in deep mistrust. Now, let us see some statistics and current news. In Australia, reported a new record number of coronavirus cases on Thursday when the country continues to battle the third wave of COVID-19 infections. There were more than 2,400 new locally acquired infections reported nationwide. On Thursday morning, the figure surpassing 2,000 in a single day for just the second time. The World Health Organization makes a big statement about the Delta variant of COVID-19. The World Health Organization on Tuesday said that the Delta variant of coronavirus has elbowed out all the three other COVID-19 variants of concern that now represent a tiny fraction of the samples which are being sequenced. Less than 1% of alpha, beta, and gamma are currently circulating. It's really predominantly Delta around the world, said the World Health Organization's technical lead on COVID-19, Maria Varkar-Kove. The Delta variant, which was first detected in India last year, has become the more fit and it is more transmittable and is out competing. It is replacing the other variant has been detected in more than 185 nations till date. COVID-19 has now killed more Americans than the influenza pandemic of 1918 to 1919. During the 1918-1919, the flu infected about 25% of Americans and killed an estimated 0.65 with 675,000 deaths. COVID-19 has infected more than 12% of Americans and killed about 0.2% with 676,000 deaths. Now that the US death toll from COVID-19 has surpassed 676,000, the coronavirus pandemic has killed more Americans than the 1918-19 influenza pandemic did. Axios and the Associated Press both reported the grim milestone on Monday. So COVID-19 is now officially US deadliest pandemic as the death toll crosses that of the 1918-19 flu. People infected with alpha variant exhales 100 times more virus into the air than original COVID strain. According to a study, the University of Maryland researchers suggested that the need for better ventilation and tight-fitting masks, in addition to widespread vaccination, to help stop spread of the virus. The findings showed that the amount of virus in the air coming from alpha variant infections was much more, 18 times more than could be explained by the increased amounts of virus in the nasal swabs and saliva. These major increases in the airborne virus from alpha infection occurred before the Delta variant arrived and indicate that the virus is evolving to be better at traveling through the air. 6 feet distance may not be enough to prevent viral transmission indoors. According to a study in Washington, physical distancing of 2 meters, about 6.5 feet, may not be enough to sufficiently prevent transmission of virus carrying airborne aerosols indoor, according to a study. The results published in the journals Sustainable Cities and Society suggest that the physical distance alone is not enough to prevent human exposure to exhaled aerosols and should be implemented with other control strategies such as masking and adequate ventilation. The researchers examined 3 factors: the amount and rate of air ventilated through a space, the indoor airflow pattern associated with the different ventilation strategies, and aerosol emission mode of breathing versus talking. COVID-19 Delta variant still most concerning, says the World Health Organization's expert. Even with the emergence of the new COVID-19 variant, The Delta strain remains the top concern globally, appearing to outcompete others. A senior official with the World Health Organization said recently. I think the Delta variant for me is the one that is most concerning because of the increased transmittability, said Dr. Maria Van Kankove, the agency's technical lead for COVID-19, speaking during an online question and answer session. Is doubly transmittable compared to the ancestor strain, which means that it can spread to more people. COVID-19 pandemic is nowhere under control in the US, says the chief medical advisor, Anthony Fauci. He said, right now we are still in pandemic mode because we have 160,000 new infections a day. That's not even modestly in good control. In an interview with Axios, the US has reported 40 million cases of COVID-19 since the outbreak of the virus, with over 4 million infections adding up in the past few weeks. The increase in COVID cases comes as the US administration earlier this month announced that it is planning to provide booster shots of the vaccine as the Delta variant has become dominant in the nation and is wreaking havoc. The surge in Delta variant is driven by the low vaccination coverage in many communities across the US, according to the US Center for Disease Control and Prevention. In a country of our size, you cannot be hanging around and having 100,000 infections a day. You have got to get well before 10,000 before you start feeling comfortable, Mr. Fauci added. COVID-19 made the world less peaceful. You can see from the graph from the since the beginning of the pandemic in April 2020, the violent incidences have raised to a peak. The younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder during the COVID-19 pandemic. The ages 18 to 24 got affected 56.2%, and ages 25 to 49, 48.9%, and ages 50 to 64, about 39.1%, and ages 65, about 29.3% got affected. The average share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety disorder and or depressive disorder, what it was in the year 2019 in the period of 6 months and was 11%, and now in January 2021, in just 1 month, it rose up to 41.1%. Some more statistics confirming the same, that the younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and a depressive disorder during the COVID-19 pandemic. Stress in America, a national mental health crisis. COVID-19 is a significant stressor for most Americans. Nearly 8 in 10, 78% say the coronavirus pandemic is a significant source of stress in their life. Nearly 7 in 10, which is 67%, say they have experienced increased stress over the course of the pandemic. More than 60,000 healthcare workers have contracted COVID-19 and 300 have died. Of the health workers who treated patients during the China's COVID-19 outbreak, 50% showed signs of depression and 45% showed signs of anxiety, according to preliminary research. The self-reported mental health among pregnant women and new mothers. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the depression was 15%, and now during the pandemic, it rose up to 40.7%. And before the COVID-19 pandemic, the anxiety was 29%, and now it rose up to 72%. Living under stay-at-home orders, 8 in 10 students are struggling with focus on school or work and avoiding distractions. 55% of all the students do not know where to go for help for their mental health. Nearly 82% of the women surveyed understanding the pandemic's impact on working women. The survey said that their lives have been negatively disrupted by the pandemic. Nearly 70% of the women who have experienced these disruptions are concerned that their career growth may be limited as a result. The global economic outlook during the COVID-19 pandemic, a changed world. The pandemic is expected to plunge most countries into recession in 2020, with per capita income contracting in the largest fraction of countries globally since 1870. The COVID-19 recession has seen the fastest, steepest downgrades in consensus growth projections among all global recessions since 1990. International Labour Organization, COVID-19 is a threat to peace building in conflict-affected nations. The COVID-19 crisis has worsened already fragile situation. The ILO is more aware than ever of its responsibility to promote peace and resilience in the time of this global pandemic. In Mumbai, the mayor says that the third wave is already upon Mumbai, pointing to a sudden spike in cases, and the third wave of COVID-19 is not coming, it's already here, said the Kishori Padnekar, adding that an announcement regarding the matter had already been made in Nagpur. Speaking of the coming festive season in Maharashtra, the mayor urged people to remain in their homes. The mandals have been asked to allow only 10 people and have them work in shifts. A little over 25% of healthcare workers were infected with coronavirus despite getting fully vaccinated. A recent study has revealed, giving an insight on the breakthrough infections due to the Delta variant. The study, jointly conducted by the Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, the maximum hospitals in Delhi NCR found that the vaccination breakthroughs were far more common during the Delta outbreak in Delhi than previously reported. The new coronavirus strain known as Mo, which is first identified in Colombia in January, has been designated a variant of interest by the World Health Organization. Now, how do we cope up with the current COVID-19 pandemic? It is important to address the COVID-19 pandemic, which is seeing another wave, destroying many more lives. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says, the pandemic fatigue setting in as a result of continuous lockdown is resulting in delusional ignorance. Holding on to the delusion and supporting this pace of delusional decisions leads to delusional arrogance. The continuous lockdown leads to delusional thoughts like, so what, if I die, it's okay. I cannot live forever in this lockdown. Going out and then exposing oneself and putting the risk on yourself and others with the irresponsibility and insensitivity is the delusional arrogance. The global COVID pandemic has left the whole world desperately looking for answers. Life as it had been experienced even back in February 2020 is no longer recognizable. Drastic change is the order of the day, with people having to redefine the world with new paradigms of economy, society, faith, religion, and health. Blessed are those who have had the greatest fortune to be with the incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in their lives to carry them through this crisis. Join the Kailasa's COVID Care Protection Center. Register now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/Kailasa care. Making peace with the nature is possible if you start now. Even amid the pandemic, 2021 can go down as the year we made peace with the nature to set the planet to healing. Now let's watch a small clip. The World Health Organization Health and Peace Initiative. If individual health and peace are interrelated, in the words of the Director General of World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, there cannot be health without peace and there cannot be peace without health. If individuals and groups enjoy equitable access to health services, fulfilling their rights to physical and mental health, and health actors design neutral health interventions that promote trust and dialogue, and communities are empowered to cope with violent conflict, then health coverage is more universal. Grievances can be heard and addressed to generate trust around health emergency concerns. Affected communities are more likely to make meaningful contributions to peace and reconciliation and to resist incitement to violence. Amid COVID, we need enhanced international coordination to build peace. Tackling the pandemic and building the resilience in fragile states require concerted international action at local, national, and global events. As the humanitarian and economic toll of the COVID-19 pandemic continues to grow, so does the risk that this crisis will fuel new conflicts around the world while stemming prospects for resolving ongoing ones. Stronger health systems and universal health coverage must be a priority. For the first time since 1945, the entire world is confronted by a common threat, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, or faith. A new social contract between people, governments, and private sector, civil society, and more can tackle the roots of inequality with fair taxation on income and wealth, universal benefits, and opportunities for all. Contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the Kailasa's contribution for the global health and to combat the COVID pandemic. The Vedic tradition beautifully says that Yassa sarvani bhutani atmani ivana pashyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tadona vigagupchate. Isha Upanishad verse 6, that the global peace is the byproduct of individual bliss. Whenever an individual goes through a spiritual bliss, he manifests a beautiful, peaceful life for him and everyone around him. If he is powerful enough, he moves the whole city and manifests peace. He is more powerful, he moves the whole village and whole country, if he is powerful enough, like incarnations. Whatever level he may be, global peace is the byproduct of individual bliss. So now let's understand from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism that how to achieve individual bliss by practicing the completion and working intensely with our completion. We can achieve the individual bliss, and that leads to the global peace. Let's listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
More deeper space you go inside you, more expanded you become, more one with everything, more oneness you experience. Because the more deeper you go, the more you experience the unified field of consciousness. Various words are used. Some of the Hindu traditions uses the word Atma, Brahman. Some of the Hindu traditions use the word Nirvana. Whatever word you may use, Atman, Brahman, Nirvana, unified field of consciousness, whatever. But one thing I want to tell you, the deeper and deeper you go in your inner space, you experience the vast oneness. The more superficial you are, the more incompletions you carry with others, even with yourself. The more superficial you become, even your own right hand and left hand fights with each other. Different parts of you fights with you. Different thoughts of you fights with you. Even you fight with you, the more superficial you go, the more deeper you start traveling. First, you get integrated. The you fighting with you stops. Then, the people around you get integrated. They fighting with you stops. Completion with yourself, then completion with others, then comes completion with other things, not just living beings, even with inanimate beings. The completion starts happening. Even with a nature, completion starts happening. Please understand, the more deeper you travel, the more deeper you go, the more deeper you settle down, the more deeper you start living. Your cognition expands. Your cognition includes. Your cognition becomes more and more inclusive. More joy, more bliss, more knowledge, more enlightenment. Please understand. The more and more completion happens in you, you will see everyone around you feels complete with you. That is why I am saying, whether they have body or they are disembodied, in the deepest corners of your being, deepermost layers of your being, deepest parts of your being, you experience such powerful awareness, such joy. Going into the deepermost corners of your being not only is a joy, it's a power. Because suddenly you will see everybody around you, everything around you listens to you. It really becomes a vibrant power where the tendency to exploit is not there. Listen, that's a very important thing. Power without the tendency to exploit. Because as long as you feel the other person is separate from you, when you get the power, it will always be used for exploiting. Because the other person is separate from you, then naturally what you will feel? Let me suck all the possible energy, intelligence, time, talent, treasure. But when you feel the other person is your own extension, you will see, you will be showering so much, enriching so much. The power you have will not be exploiting, it will be enriching. I tell you, even if death comes at this moment, I can tell you very clearly, I can face the death directly and tell the death, I have enriched every human being more than what I received from anybody. I have given to every human being whom I met in my life more than what I received from them. My accounts is clear. I am ready. Come on, let's go. My accounts is clear. I don't have debt. No credit card money to be paid, loans to be paid, no debit card, no credit card. My accounts is clear. Understand, when you feel everyone is your extension, the power given to you, the power you gain, see, any living is power. Powerful way. Even in that, you will become powerful. So any lifestyle you choose, you will get power in that field. Whether it is exploiting or enriching, murdering or raping or go on serving. Whatever lifestyle you choose, living is power. When you go into the deepermost core of your being and start living based on completion, I tell you, the first power you will experience is everything around you listens to you. That power will simply make you enrich everyone. The best power you can have through living is power of enriching. Whatever you do, as I said, whether you live the life of enriching or exploiting, you will become powerful. I tell you, the power of exploiting brings more and more conflict within and without, and those conflicts naturally bring suffering. And the power of enriching brings more and more completion in you and in others. This full month, Nithyananda Sangha all over the world. The other day I was seeing, we have officially presence in more than 50 countries. As devotees, group of devotees, we have presence in 100 countries. All over the world, we are going to celebrate this whole month for Global Peace Month, impacting global peace. All of us this whole month will live completion and do samskara dahana kriya, means burning the patterns which separates us from others, burning the patterns which are constantly keeping us in a superficial level. All over the world, we will be doing samskara dahana kriya, burning our patterns and leading us to more and more completion. And we also have special 3 Nitya Dhyana Yoga program teaching people science of completion and facilitating samskara dahana kriya. This month, 20th, 21st and 22nd, this whole month, all over the world, all our temples, ashrams, centers, yoga centers, schools, colleges, universities should do samskara dahana kriya should do the practice of burning all the incompletions and patterns which leads to conflicts, bringing more and more peace inside us and outside us, spreading peace. This whole month, let's impact global peace. Let us really contribute to the global peace, not just talking about it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Not just talking about it. Let's do it. Even if you teach the Samskara Dahana Kriya to 50 people in each area, each place where we have centers, ashrams, temples, two-way centers, yoga centers, even 50 people, each Tanidar teaches, enriches them with this science. The amount of suffering and negative waves, negative vibes reduction can contribute so much to the world. Please understand. One positive person can burn millions people negativity. Experientially, with evidence we proved, one positive person has already burnt at least 20 million people's negativity in last 10 years and brought peace. So each one of you, if you stand up as one positive being, one authentic, responsible, enriching being, I tell you, we can do so much to the world. It will be a better place than the time we entered. When we leave, it should be a better place. That's all. When we leave the earth, it should be a better place. So understand, inner peace is your birthright. Go to the depths of your being. Bring more and more completion into you. Completion with others. And start living Advaita. Today in the Inner Awakening session, it's all about completion with others. So last 6 days, literally, you worked so much, one by one by one by one by one, layer by layer by layer by layer. The completion with yourself. Now comes completion with others. Today we are starting the science of completion with others. It's one of the most powerful science. Does so much to human beings, not just healing their relationships, even inside their consciousness, this inner space, so much of good is done. So much of awakening is done. See, when you have completed with others, the kind of strength you feel is the power of Advaita. Strength of Advaita. Today the Inner Awakening sessions are all about completion with others. We have long session today working on completing with others. So with this, because today we have a long session with inner awakening, we are also lagging behind the syllabus. Actually, it is a good news. It's not a bad news because participants are so sincere. They are going through the whole process so intensely, sincerely. Because of that, we are little delayed. But today I'm going to catch up. Today I'm going to spend more time and catch up with them, with the syllabus. So
Now, let's understand the Kailasa's mission of global peace and superconsciousness breakthrough. The sovereign order of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Nithyananda order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora, are working for global peace and to give a superconsciousness breakthrough to humanity. It is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's mission to revive a conscious world where the global issues at the climate, economic, social, health, and humanitarian levels cease to exist from their very root, turning the problems of poverty, hunger, violence, discrimination into powerful living through the experience of oneness. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been working from the very grassroots level to usher in an era of peace at all levels, individual, societal, national, and global. His deep insights into the workings of the human mind, body, emotions have enabled him to powerfully and directly address various social and emotional problems facing humanity today. Some of the ways the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism provides spiritual solutions to combat pandemic and other issues are through the Paramashivoham program, bringing super consciousness breakthrough to the whole humanity by starting the Akhanda Nirvikalpa Samadhi Jnana Yajna and contributing almost 3 million minutes now. And Paramashiva Sankalpa chanting, the sacred Sanskrit mantra chanting to heal 24/7 via Zoom session. The spiritual healing to one and all 24/7, helping humanity to cope up with insecurity, fear, disease by empowering individuals to heal themselves, learn to cope up emotions like depression and tough situations in relationships, providing alternative solutions to worldly problems through power manifestation, initiating thousands every day into the power manifesting superhuman capabilities in the Kailas courtyard session, providing healthy solutions like a technique to clear the stomach from the Ayurveda solutions, which ultimately brings clarity out to the spiritual truths and give a conscious breakthrough in the long term, establishing self-sufficient communities. Continuing and intensifying the service of Annadan, the free food in Nithyananda Annalayas around the world, including Tiruvannamalai, Los Angeles, and various other adhinams. Peacekeepers of Kailasa offering various life solutions from the teachings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Hinduism prescribes various methods for global healing. One such is Maheshwara Puja, nullifying collective negativity simply through the presence of the avatar and his order of monks. Offering Maheshwara Puja to the natural hit calamities is one of the greatest service that Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is offering. Bhava Samadhi Darshan, to raise the individual consciousness, to raise the conscious breakthrough. Devi Parashakti Akashic reading, the cosmic revelations. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, spiritual solutions for COVID-19. Society was created with the delusional ideas of too many human beings, blind spots, and the decisions made from those blind spots. It is if the visionary of a civilization or country or nation has blind spot, when he develops the vision for it, the whole civilization suffers those blind spots. Now it's time that nature, Prakriti, resets itself, and many of these blind spot-based visions, ideas become important components of the society. Let us celebrate God. This isolation, which is seemingly endless, with an unknown future, which is compelling humanity to make 100% lifestyle change, is something to be deeply dwelled upon. All problems need to be addressed only with spiritual solution and powerful cognitions. To stop people having mental breakdown, pandemic fatigue, collapsing, depression, destruction, and also give them super consciousness breakthrough and revive the enlightened civilization, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continuously gives spiritual solutions and powerful cognitions. Some of the powerful cognitions, spiritual solutions, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gives are unclutching, practicing completion, practicing oneness, practicing Ajapa Japa of Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, continuous consciously building deep feeling connection, yoga, puja, vegetarian diet, and Nirahara Samyama, and much, many more. The life solutions based on the ancient Hindu tradition, the meditation and yoga techniques from the scriptures, the cognitions rooted in the highest truth, the lifestyle based on living and radiating the higher values of life, and powerful way of living and realizing one's ultimate potential form the foundation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's teachings, which by their inherent nature provide the foundation for peace on planet Earth. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has launched the minutes for peace, and the total count comes out to be the minutes logged in, so comes out to be staggering 409 billion minutes for peace so far. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also launched the Kumbh Mela in USA, Los Angeles since 2007, and Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has organized a month-long peace walk during 2009, covering 1,000 kilometers and 1,000 villages to bring together harmony from all walks of life to promote feeling connection and oneness among people. And sannyas, initiation into sannyas for thousands of devotees. Sannyas is our social responsibility. Let us save Hinduism and humanity. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also revived the ancient practice of embarking on pilgrimages to set the original context of spiritual conscious breakthrough. And through the Annalayas under the Red Om, with No Hunger Project, the Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa worldwide, under the guidance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has served over 5 billion organic sattvic vegetarian meals so far. Giving free food to all the citizens is the economic policy of Kailasa, deriving the reference from the Vedas and Agamas. And one of the recently, the humanitarian initiative launched by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the opening of Kailasa's COVID care centers in India, where the monastic campuses have been turned into a multi-layer quarantine facility to safeguard the inmates against the possible point of contact with the outer world. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened this service free to all people, regardless of any differences in age, gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, or socio-economic status. Food, shelter, internet, and all basic facilities, including medical care, are provided at these COVID care centers, free of cost and for an indefinite time. The outcome has been splendid. Zero infection rate so far among the participants, a feat not achieved anywhere else in the world, let alone in India. This response model of handling the COVID-19 pandemic at a community level, along with the guidelines and recommendations for governments, has been recognized and accepted by the United Nations as well. You can see some of the glimpses. Participants of the COVID care program offered by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, enjoying a blissful spiritual lifestyle in multi-layered protection. They enjoy the stress-free time following a spiritual morning routine, doing yoga, doing puja, temple sevas, voluntary service, and celebrating the festivals. So join the Kailasa COVID care protection centers. Register now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/Kailasa care. With this, we're going to move on to the next part of our segment, Maheshwara Puja. The quotes on Maheshwara Puja, as we are on the auspicious Malalaya Amavasya, we are going to offer the Maheshwara Puja to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and we'll be joining that. So after a very short break. Welcome back to our next segment. We are going to learn about the Maheshwara Puja. On this auspicious Mahalaya Amavasya, let's pay our deepest respects to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadusham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. As per Hindu scriptures, yes. So today, what powerful cognitions and conclusions we will learn during this segment. What happens to the soul after death? How do we choose our next body? What happens to the soul in case of natural death versus accident versus suicide? If someone commits suicide, does it affect the next generation? How does Maheshwara Puja help in the journey of a departed soul? So, what is Maheshwara Puja? In the Vedic science of enlightenment, every being is required to complete with parents, ancestors, the Ishta Devata, the favorite deity, nature, and Guru, to awaken the feminine consciousness and to achieve enlightenment. In Hinduism, every year in every Hindu family, Shraddha is offered in the Mahalaya Pitru Paksha as a tradition to complete with ancestors. So the scriptural reference, according to the astrology, when the sun enters the Saturn, the Pitru Loka, the ancestral plane, Kanyagatesh Sivitari Pitarau Yanti Vai Sutana Amavasya Dine Prapte Grahadvaram Samasrita. When the sun enters the Saturn, the Pitraloka, the ancestral plane, and Bhuloka, the earthly plane, are in closest proximity to each other and is considered the best time to for offering completion and reverence to the ancestors. As per the Hindu scriptures, Durga Puja is done in Shukla Paksha of Ashwina month. It marks the beginning of Navaratri and Durga Puja. Goddess Durga was invoked in Mahalaya to vanquish Mahishasur, inner demons of incompletions. It is said that the Mahalaya Amavasya morning, first ancestors are offered completion. In the evening, Devi Durga comes to earth and stays here to bless the people. Offering Maheshwara Puja is one of the oldest recorded ritual in the Vedic tradition. This is the offering of food to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, along with his monastic disciples. Offering food to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is equal to feeding millions of hungry people. This is offered to liberate the departed soul and let them rest in peace, gifting enlightenment to their souls. Offering food to the avatar is equal to offering it to millions of people. Offering food on Maheshwara Puja day will result in multifold benefits. Offering Maheshwara Puja to remove Pitru Dosha and receive multifold benefits for loved ones or ancestors. On the auspicious occasion of Pitru Paksha, a 16-day lunar period, 16-day lunar period in Hindu calendar when Hindus pay homage to their ancestors, especially through food offerings. This period is also known as Pitru Paksha or Mahalaya Paksha. Pitru Paksha starts on this Paurnami on 20th September. It started, and now it is concluding today as Mahalaya Amavasya, 6th of October today. In Hinduism, every year in every Hindu family, Sraddha is offered. Sraddha is annual remembrance of the ancestors, worshipping them with Sraddha. With so much Sraddha, the offering is done in the Mahalaya Pitru Paksha as a tradition to complete with the ancestors. This auspicious Mahalaya Paksha, Mahalaya Amavasya day, offering Maheshwara Puja is offering on this auspicious Mahalaya Paksha Amavasya to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. It has been described in Hindu scriptures that the person should worship his ancestors as a powerful technique for completion in one's life. Sraddha and Tarpanam rituals are performed to please the ancestors and bring their blessings. In Hinduism, Pitrus or ancestors are considered God. It has been described in Hindu scriptures that the person should worship his ancestors as a powerful technique for completion in one's life. Sraddha and Tarpanam rituals are performed to please the ancestors and bring their blessings. In Hinduism, Pitrus are considered gods. There is also an ancestral astrological reason for celebrating Pitru Paksha. Pitru Dosha is the unpleasant phase in life when someone is deprived of success even after reaching very close to success. There are problems related to children, or there is a loss of money, financial problems, or unfavorable environment in the house. Despite all efforts, unable to get married, incompletion in relationships, and so on and so forth. That is why the peace of ancestors is considered necessary even for getting rid of Pitru dosha. Offering of Pinda in the stomach of a living incarnation of Paramashiva is the best form of Pinda Tappana and Sraddha to remove Pitru dosha. This in the Somasambhu Paddhati says it is 1,000 times greater than offering any Sraddha, any Pinda in any river, any water body, any lake, any holy land, any holy place. Once you offer the Maheshwara Puja, after that you may not need to do Sraddha. Regardless of the number of births the soul would have taken, regardless of the soul, while embodied having been initiated by the master or not in his lifetime, the master can intervene and make his presence available in the departed soul's life and lead it to enlightenment. This is possible only through Maheshwara Puja. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam says, the best place on the planet Earth to do Pinda Tarpana is the stomach of a sannyasi. That is, the hunger fire, Jataragni of a sannyasi is the best fire into which you can offer the Pinda Tarpana, the Sraddha, which reaches the departed ancestors, Pitrus directly. In Maheshwara Puja, you offer to the avatar along with his monastic disciples. The Somasambhu Paddhati says it is 1,000 times more greater than offering any Sraddha, any Pinda in any river, any water body, any lake. The Pindatarpana and Sraddha, wherein food is offered to sannyasis for the completion with the departed souls, is called Maheshwara Puja. In the Somasambhu Paddhati, Sraddha Vidhi, Sloka 3 says, Lingino Brahmana Dasya Sraddhaya Shiva Dikshitaha. The translation goes, the sannyasis and brahmanas who have been initiated into the Shiva Diksha are eligible to be appointed as the representatives of Pitrus in the Sraddha. Now let's watch a glimpse of a short clip on the Maheshwara Puja.
पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। अथ पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययं छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्। अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखा गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः। अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा। अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन छित्त्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः। तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी। निर्मानमोहाजितसङ्गदोषा अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययं तत्। न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम। ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः। मनःषट्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति। शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्। क्षोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते। उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः। यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकं गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा
Maheshwara Puja is to help the departed souls rest in peace. This is the offering of food to the master along with his monastic disciples. Offering Maheshwara Puja is one of the oldest recorded ritual in the Vedic tradition. This is offered to help the departed soul rest in peace and give the enlightenment to the soul. Maheshwara Puja is a very important process for completion with any departed soul. In Maheshwara Puja, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and all his sannyasis become an empty space. The bridge become an empty space, the bridge for the Srartha, Pinda, the offerings and oblations to reach the Pitrus, the elders or any departed soul. The tradition says Brahma Kapala in Badri, Kala Bhairava's body in Varanasi, and Vishnu's Paduka in Gaya. To any one of them, you can offer the Pinda, the cooked rice ball. It will reach the elders. It will reach the ancestors. An avatar body is said to be all the three, Brahma Kapala, Kala Bhairava's body, and Vishnu's feet. An incarnation is the space of eternal completion. Physically, mentally, spiritually, he is in the space of eternal completion. When the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism accepts or receives the Maheshwara Puja given by you, for those moments, he is the direct representative of the departed souls. He is completing the incompletions you have with the departed soul and the incompletions they have with you. In completion process with the others, when you want to complete with someone who is dead, normally you invoke them in the mirror or in the other person and complete. In Maheshwara Puja, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself sits with you and helps you to complete with the departed souls. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism sits with you, completing not just the emotional, verbal commitments not fulfilled, anything you have not offered to them when they were alive, you treated them in a wrong way, you didn't give food, medicines, or you didn't take care of them properly when they are alive, anything that you feel incomplete about. Another scriptural reference, Virija Homa Mantras, it says, Srincha Lakshmincha ki Pushtincha Kirtincha Ranyatam Brahmanyam Bahuputratam Shraddha Mede Pragyatu Jata Veda Santadhadu Swaha. May God grant me royal prosperity, the bliss of freedom, health, noble repute, capacity to pay off debts to God, departed souls and sages. May He bless me with the experience of being the favorite inheritor of the cosmos. May He bless me with the sons, faithful and intelligent, as well as grandsons. Now, let's welcome with this understanding. Let's welcome the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Let's start. Sit with the deep space of gratitude to receive him. Please sit straight with your head, neck, spine straight. Inhale deeply, exhale deeply. With the space of deep gratitude and a strong feeling connection, start chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Continue to chant the Mahavakya and sit with a deep space of gratitude to receive the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyananda
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Connect the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine with your eyes open is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to darshan. Slow to darshan. Slowly, very slowly. Please open your eyes.
आनंदेश्वरी नित्य आनंदेश्वरी आदिशक्ति नायकी आनंदेश्वरी नित्य आनंदेश्वरी अन्नमिडुम अन्नयुम नी आनंदेश्वरी नित्य आनंदेश्वरी आदिशक्ति नायकी आनंदेश्वरी नित्य आनंदेश्वरी कन्नमिडुम கருமங்களை மாற்றி இங்கு கருணையுடன் வாழ்வை வரவேற்றுகிறாய் ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி 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 நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி சம்ஸ்காரங்கள் கரைந்திருந்து ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி நாங்கள் சம்சார கடல் கடந்த ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி ஏழுடல்கள் கடந்து நித்ய வாழ்விலே நிலை பெறவே நித்யானந்த ஸ்பூரணம் தந்தாய் ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி ஆனந்தீஸ்வரி நித்ய
auspicious day of Mahalaya Paksha.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Few devotees are offering the Maheshwara Puja at the Divine Lotus feet of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidana, Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Requesting all the participants of the Maheshwara Puja to be seated with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Requesting all the monastic members of Nithyananda order to be seated with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Bring your awareness to your Anandaganda. Now requesting the listening of the Maheshwara Puja participants, kindly have authentic listening to the truths behind the Maheshwara Puja. And if you have authentic listening, and if you authentically cognize, which is internally processed, understand and declare the truth and respond that you agree to the truths behind the Maheshwara Puja, which will be told now. If you please agree, please say yes loudly at the end of each declaration. The truth behind the Maheshwara Puja is that I authentically cognize, which is internally processed, understand and declare the truth that cosmic energy exists. Yes, I authentically cognize, which is internally processed, understand and declare the truth that Swamiji is the Chinmaya Vigraha, the embodiment and representation of that very cosmic energy. Yes, I authentically cognize, which is internally processed, understand and declare the truth that Swamiji is a pure channel for complete completion to be achieved for all the departed souls and for completion to be achieved for all the participants with the departed souls. Yes, I authentically cognize, which is internally processed, understand and declare the truth that during the Maheshwara Puja, all the monastic members of the Nithyananda order become a pure channel for completion to be achieved for all the departed souls and for completion to be achieved for all the participants with the departed souls. Yes, I authentically cognize, which is internally processed, understand and declare the truth that offering the Maheshwara Puja will bestow complete completion for all the departed souls whose photo or horoscope is mentioned here, and completion will be bestowed on all the Maheshwara Puja participants with the departed souls for whom they are offering Maheshwara Puja today. Yes. We will now start the rituals for the Maheshwara Puja. Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Samarambham Nithyanandeshwari Paramashakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryanta Vande Guru Paramparam Ate Tripundri Tilakrita Kasturi Tilakaha Puran Baladhara Spurita Khatikopina Vasanaha Dano Vittaram Shirati Phanirajam Shashikalam Deepas Sarvesham Arunagiri Yogi Vijayate Namo Patta चक्षयद्वारा भगवच्छ्री नित्यानंद परमशिव प्रीत्यर्थम अद्य पूर्वोक्त एवं गुण विशेषेण विशिष्टायाम् अस्यां शुभतिथौ
नित्यानंद परमशिवोहम
मैत्रिक पटेल नामधेयस्य नीलेश पटेल नामधेयस्य चेतना पटेल नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य आईडी शोएन नाम्याः कार्ल शोएन नामधेयस्य सोफी शोएन नी वोल्मेर नाम्याः फेड्रिक शोएन नामधेयस्य डोमिनिका शोएन नीरेस नाम्याः कॉर्नर नीशोएन नामधेयस्य रूथ ग्रिफिन नीशोएन नामधेयस्य जेवियर वोल्मेर नामधेयस्य आर्फा वोल्मेर नी गोफ्रिंगर नाम्याः मरिया बर्गर ली वोल्मेर नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य याव नाम्याः लापोलिन नामधेयस्य औड्री सिन्यान नाम्याः एव्री रूपवान नाम्याः जोंगशांग याव नामधेयस्य अंगली नाम्याः नाम सकुटुम्बस्य लांगशांग वान होंग वांग नामधेयस्य chen wang नाम्याः आईजी वांग नाम्याः जुनचांग नाम्याः हाउ हुआंग नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य सेपुंग मे नाम्याः सेयाम सांग नामधेयस्य निंगत्वा नाम्याः मोक्तिंगसु नामधेयस्य चांगक्वा क्वांग नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य लिंगजी झांग नाम्याः शिवान नाम्याः जिनलाई झांग नामधेयस्य चेनझांग नाम्याः गौपी झांग नामधेयस्य फेंगुई नाम्याः वांग नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य
परमशिवोहम ओम नित्यानंद परमशिवोहम
नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवस्य रोहिणी नक्षत्रे वृषभराशो जातायाः आचूडी यूमे छांग नाम्याः नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवस्य धरणी नक्षत्रे मेषराशो जातस्य श्रीहन विन्चांग नामधेयस्य शतभिषा नक्षत्रे कुंभराशो जातस्य श्री छांग नामधेयस्य चित्रा नक्षत्रे कन्याराशो जातस्य छुंच्यां छांग नामधेयस्य आर्द्रा नक्षत्रे मिथुनराशो जातस्य चीचिया छांग नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य कुलै हौई नामधेयस्य चेंगपाओ हौई नामधेयस्य साओ किंगसी नाम्याः वाक्फा हौई नामधेयस्य हौई नाम्याः वाक्फाई हौई नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य जडेजा नामधेयस्य अंजलि जडेजा नाम्याः जडेजा नामधेयस्य नाम रामा नाम्याः नामधेयस्य नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य महिता रेड्डी नाम्याः विजयलक्ष्मी नाम्याः सुदर्शना नल्लप्परेड्डी नाम्याः वरदरेड्डी नल्लप्परेड्डी नामधेयस्य साई प्रसाद रेड्डी नामधेयस्य
परमशिवोहम
आदित्य अक्षिता नाम्याः नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवस्य पुनर्वसु नक्षत्रे कन्याराशो जातायाः देवती कृष्णन् नाम्याः मृगशीर्षा नक्षत्रे धनुर्राशो जातायाः अंकिता नाम्याः मीना कृष्णन् नाम्याः अश्विनी नक्षत्रे कर्कटराशो जातायाः अंकिता नाम्याः अश्विनी नक्षत्रे कर्कटराशो जातायाः अनिशा नाम्याः अश्विनी नक्षत्रे कुंभराशो जातायाः रविशंकर नामधेयस्य विश्वामित्र गोत्रोद्भवस्य सुरेखा नाम्याः विश्वामित्रगोत्रोद्भवस्य अंजलि नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य बीजी रवि नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य प्रमीला भवती नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य स्वर्णलता नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य उमा बालाजी नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य सरोजा शर्मा नाम्याः मकरराशोजातायाः सरोजा शर्मा नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य विभूखेरा नाम्याः मनोज गुलाटी नामधेयस्य श्रेया गुलाटी नाम्याः प्रणव गुलाटी नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य सुधा दण्डपाणी नाम्याः शरवणन् राजराम नामधेयस्य शरवणन् राजराम नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य शिखा अस्थाना नाम्याः अंजना अस्थाना नाम्याः अर्चना अस्थाना नाम्याः बेबी अस्थाना नाम्याः रोहित अस्थाना नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य डिमिट्री कुजिनेट्स् नामधेयस्य वेलेंटिना कुन्सेविक नामधेयाः एडवर्ड कुन्सेविक नामधेयस्य रोजा कुनिनेट्स् नामधेयस्य बोरिस कुसिनेट्स् नामयाः सकुटुम्बस्य नित्यानंद गोत्रोद्भवस्य षड्विशा नक्षत्रे कुंभराशो जातायाः शुदा ओझा नाम्याः षड्विशा नक्षत्रे कुंभराशो जातायाः सतीश ओझा नाम्याः रोहिणी नक्षत्रे वृषभराशो जातस्य अंजलि ओझा नाम्याः पुनर्वसु नक्षत्रे कर्कटराशो जातस्य हसिनी ओझा नाम्याः आश्लेषा नक्षत्रे मिथुनराशो जातस्य कंटा मगन्लल परमर नामधेयस्य निर्मला हरगोविंद नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य उमेश हरि नामधेयस्य अनुहरि नाम्याः निशांत हरि नामधेयस्य प्रिया हरि नाम्याः रोहन हरि नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य तरुल सुनील दोमा नाम यधेयस्य पदरुत दोमा नाम्याः सत्यवती दोमा नामधेयस्य मोतीलाल दोमा नामधेयस्य बोधिया भोला नामधेयस्य माधो झुंढो नामधेयस्य लीलावती गुंगधुर झुंढो नामधेयस्य सकुटुम्बस्य माँ कला देवी आनंदा नाम्याः रीता कार्बोन नाम्याः हेरल्ड कार्बोन नामधेयस्य एंथनी डिस्वेंचाजो नामधेयस्य जोसेफिन डिस्वेंचोजो नाम्याः फ्रांसिस प्रिंसी नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य रसिक पटेल नामधेयस्य जयानंद पटेल नामधेयस्य महिमा नित्या नाम्याः सूर्या घेले नाम्याः लूकस घेले नामधेयस्य परजिता घेले नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य वष्टगोत्रोद्भवस्य मूला नक्षत्रे धनुर्राशो जातस्य योगेंद्र शर्मा नामधेयस्य श्री ओमकार प्रसाद शर्मा नामधेयस्य श्रीमती कमला देवी शर्मा नाम्याः श्री मदन लाल शर्मा नामधेयस्य श्रीमती चमेली शर्मा नाम्याः श्री प्रभुदयाल शर्मा नाम अधेयस्य श्रीमती गीता शर्मा नाम्याः श्री कुशीराम शर्मा नामधेयस्य श्रीमती सुलोचना शर्मा नाम्याः श्री गोविंद शर्मा नामधेयस्य श्री शिवनारायण शर्मा नामधेयस्य श्रीमती सुलोचना देवी शर्मा नाम्याः श्रीमती शशि शर्मा नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य भास्करन सिन्नदुरै नामधेयस्य रसिका भास्करन नाम्याः सकुटुम्बस्य च ब्रह्मकपाल विष्णुपाद कालभैरवबहुस्वरूप श्री कैलासोन्नत द्वादशांत श्यामला पीठारूढ़ श्री मीनाक्षी सुंदरेश्वरा भिन्न स्वरूप परशिवपुत्र रत्नकुमार गुरुमन्य तुल्यावतार श्री पार्वती स्तन्यपान लब्ध दिव्य ज्ञान विश्रुत सकल निगमागम सारभूत द्राविड वेद प्रवक्त्रे श्रीमत् परमशिव करुणा समधिगत मुक्तामय चतुरश्रया न गीयमान छत्र चामर श्री चिन्ह काहलादि समस्त बिरडावल्यलंकृत ज्ञान विज्ञान चक्रवर्ती सर्वजन संग सद्यो निर्वाण दीक्षा व्ययापवर्ग वर्ष विश्रान जीमूत परमद कलभ केसरी शैव सिद्धांत स्थापनाचार्य श्री राजाधिराज पांड्य महाराज गुरु शपन शाख्यादि महांधकार निवारण ज्ञान भानु वीक्षणा नरहार ध्वजोच्छेदन पूर्वक श्रीमद् वृषभध्वज स्थापक शैव समय कर्त्रे सर्वज्ञ पीठारूढ़ श्री जगद्गुरु श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक स्वामी वागीश सुंदर माणिक्य वाचक स्वामिनां अवित्तारभूत श्री ज्ञान संबंध स्वामी पुनरुद्धृत श्यामला पीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ तृणवत्युत्तर द्विशततम गुरु महासन्निधान अरुणगिरि योगीश्वर परंपरागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञ पीठ गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परंपरागत कांची कैलास सर्वज्ञ पीठ त्रयस्त्रिंशदुत्तर द्विशततम गुरु महासन्निधान नित्योत्सव नित्य मंगल नित्य कल्याण नित्य रजित आदि कैलास नित्यानंद पीठ महासंस्थान महासिंहासन पीठ कर्त्रे साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत कैलास परंपरागत वैवस्वत मनु इक्ष्वाकु हरिश्चंद्र भगीरथ श्रीरामचंद्र शूरसेन इत्याद्यनवच्छिन्न सार्वभौम चक्रवर्ती परंपरागत चतुष्षष्टि योगिनी मंडित चतुष्षष्टि संप्रदाय प्रवर्तक मनुधर्म शासन सूर्यवंश प्राप्त सर्वज्ञ पीठ सुरांगी साम्राज्य मूर्धाभिषिक्त चूड़ामणे साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत श्री कपिल महागुरु पुनरुद्धृत महानिर्वाणी पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री महामंडलेश्वर साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत श्री महागणपति समारंभ अनवच्छिन्न पीठाधीश्वर गुरु परंपरा प्राप्त अटल पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री अटल पीठाधीश्वर धर्म मुक्ति स्वर्गपुर स्वर्ण पीठ त्रयोविंश गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परंपरागत आदिपीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ जगद्गुरु श्री कैलास पुनरुद्धारक श्री कैलास परमाचार्य श्रीमत् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य सच्चिदानंद प्रणव स्वरूप श्रोत्रिय ब्रह्मनिष्ठ श्रीमज्जगद्गुरु श्रील श्री भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिनां प्रीत्यर्थम पूर्वोक्तानां सर्वेषां जीवन मुक्ति प्राप्त्यर्थम एतेषां दिवंगत बंधुमित्रवर्गाणां विदेह मुक्ति प्राप्त्यर्थम च परमशिव स्वरूप भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव मुखेन महेश्वर पूजाक्य कर्म करिष्ये. We will now chant the 15th chapter, the Purushottama Yoga of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिनां मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवत्वेशिनी. अतः पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः. श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थम् प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्. Shri Bhagavan says, the imperishable banyan tree of life, symbolized by the Ashwattha, has its roots above with the leaves and branches swelling below the earth. The leaves are said to be the Vedic hymns. One who knows this eternal tree becomes the knower of the Vedas. Adhasyordhvam prakutastasya shakha guna pravriddha vishayah pravalaha adhasya moolan anusantatani karmanubandhini manushya loke. The branches of this tree extended below and above the earth
Nourished by the tree human attributes guna, its buds are the sense objects. This tree has its roots going down, and those are bound by the resultant actions of humans. Narupamasye nathatopalabhyate nanto na chad na cha sampratishta ashvattamenam suvirudhamulam ashanga shastrena dridena chitva. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, and where its foundation is. But with determination one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Tatah padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyaha tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yata pravritti prashrutat purani. One must then seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and surrender to the Supreme Being from whom all activities started from the ancient times. Nirmana moha chita sangadosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha dvandvair vimukta sukha dukya sangyer gachyantya muda padamavyayam tat. Those who are free from pride, delusion and attachment, those who dwell in the self, who are done with lust, who are free from dualities of joy and sorrow, who are not confused, and those who know how to surrender to the Supreme Person, attain the eternal consciousness. Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. That supreme space of eternal consciousness, my consciousness, is not illuminated by the sun nor the moon nor by fire. Those who enter that space never return to this material world. Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhutas sanatanaha manasyazdhani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned material world are a portion of my eternal self. In this conditioned material world, they are attracted by the six senses, which include mind, dwelling in Prakriti, the active energy principle. Shariram yadavapnoti yachatyukramati ishvaraha grihitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat. The spirit in the mind body living in this material world moves from one body to another, carrying these just as air carries aroma. Shrotram chakshusparshanam cha rasanam granameva cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate. The living entity, the spirit, leaves one body, takes some other body, and gets new eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and sensing body according to the samskaras it has in its causal layer, and enjoys the new mental setup. Ukra mantam sthitham vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananu paschanti jnana chakshushaha. Fools in ignorance do not perceive the spirit being united with the gunas as it enters, enjoys, and leaves the body. The one whose inner eye is open clearly perceives everything. Yatanto yoginas chainam paschantyatmanyavasthitam yatanto prakrutatmano nainam paschancha chetasaha. The serious practitioner of yoga, with an understanding of his self, can see all this clearly, but those who do not have an understanding of the self, however much they try, cannot see. Yada dityagadam dejo jagadbhasayate khilam yachandramasi yachagno tattejo vidhi mamakam. The light of the sun and the light of the moon and the light of the fire, all their radiance is also from me. Gama vishyacha bhutani darayam yah mojasa pushnami choschadi sarva somo bhutva rasatmakaha. Entering into earth, I support all beings with my energy. Becoming the watery moon, I nourish all plant life. Aham vaishvanaro bhutva praninam deham ashritaha pranapana samayuktaha pachanyannam chaturvidam. I am the fire of digestion in every living body. I am the breath of life exhaled and inhaled, with which I digest the fourfold food. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritirjnanam apohanam cha वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम्. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me came memory, knowledge, and their loss. I am known by the Vedas. Indeed, I am the creator of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Dvavimo purusho loke, charascha eva cha, charas sarvani bhutani, kutastokshara uchyate. There are two things, the perishable and imperishable in this world. There are the living things who are perishable, while there is the unchanging, unchangeable, the imperishable. Uttamah purushastvanyah paramatmetyudakritah yo lokatrayamavishya bibhartyavyaya ishwarah. Besides these two, there is the Supreme Purusha, the Lord Himself, who pervades and sustains these three worlds. Yashmaksharamati-toham aksharaadapi chottamaha atosmi loke vedecha pratitah purushottamah. As I am transcendental, beyond both the perishable and imperishable and the best, I am declared both in the world and in the Vedas as the Supreme Person, Purushottama. Yo mam evam asammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as the Supreme without a doubt is to be understood as the knower of everything, and he worships me with all his being. O son of Bharata! Iti guhyatamam shastram idam muktam maya nagha etad buddhva buddhiman syad kritakrityascha Bharata. This is the most profound teaching taught by me, O sinless one, when whoever knows this will become wise, and his actions will bear fruit. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Purushottama Yogo Nama Panchadashodhyayah. In the Upanishad of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the scripture of yoga dealing with Brahma Vidya, Yoga Shastra, the science of Brahman, and the Supreme Absolute in the form of Krishna Arjuna Samvada, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. This is the 15th chapter named Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Being. We will now continue with the Manasa Puja. Om Ritpadmamasanam Dadyad Sahasrarachyutamrutehi Padyam Charanayor Dadyad Manastu Argyam Nivedayet Tena Amrutena Achamaniyam Snaniyam Tena Chasmritam Akashatattvam Vastram Syat Gandhasyat Gandhatatvakam Chittam Prakalpayet Pushpam Dhupam Pranan Prakalpayet Tejastattvam cha Deepartham Naivedyam Syat Sudham Buddhihi Anahatadvanirgantha Vayutattvam cha Chamaram Sahasraram Bhavet Chatram Shabdhatattvam cha Geetakam Nrityamindriya Karmani Chanchalyam Manasastatha Sumekalam Padmamalam Pushpam Nana Vidham Tatha Amayadyir Bhava Pushpehi Archayet Bhava Gocharam Amayam Anahankaram Aragam Amadham Tatha Amohakam Adambam Cha Advesha Akshobhako Tatha Amatsaryam Alobham Cha Dasapushpam Vidurbudhaha Ahimsa Paramam Pushpam Pushpam Indriya Nigraha Daya Pushpam Kshama Pushpam Jnana Pushpam Cha Panchamam Iti Panchadasher Bhava Pushpaihi Sampujayet Bhagavantam Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam. We will now offer the Dashopachara Puja. Om Hrim Etat Padyam Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nithyananda Paramashivaya Namaha. Om Hrim Idam Esha Argyaha Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nithyananda Paramashivaya Namaha. ॐ ह्रीं इदम् आचमनीयं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं स्नानीयं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं वस्त्रं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं एषद्गन्धः सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं सचन्दनपुष्पं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं सचन्दनबिल्वपत्रं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं एष धूपः सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं एष दीपः सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं शोभकर्णनैवेद्यं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं पानार्थोदकं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं इदं पुनराचमनीयं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। आरात्रिकम् ॐ राजाधिराजाय प्रसह्यसाहिने नमो वयं वै श्रवणाय कुर्महे समे कामान् कामकामाय मह्यं कामेश्वरो वै श्रवणो ददातु कुबेराय वै श्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। आरात्रिकं समर्पयामि भगवच्छ्री नित्यानन्दपरमशिवचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः। पुष्पाञ्जलिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अनेकजन्मसम्प्राप्तकर्मबन्धविदाहिने आत्मज्ञानप्रधानेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मन्नाथ श्रीजगन्नाथो मद्गुरु श्रीजगद्गुरु ममात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुराप्नेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमपद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। पुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि भगवच्छ्री नित्यानन्दपरमशिवचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः। ॐ नित्यानन्दम्।
அன்னையும் நீ ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஆதிசக்தி நாயகியே ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி அன்னமிடும் அன்னையும் நீ ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஆதிசக்தி நாயகியே ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி கண்ணமிடும் கருமங்களை மாற்றி இங்கு
Sees of the Nithyananda order worldwide are requested to partake the Pinda Prasadam. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி சம்ஸ்காரங்கள் கரைந்து இங்கு ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நாங்கள் சம்சார கடல் கடக்க ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஏழுடல்கள் கடந்து நித்ய வாழ்வினிலே நிலை பெறவே நித்யானந்த ஸ்பூரணம் தந்தாய் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி தெய்வத்திற்கு படைத்த உணவை ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி பிரசாதமாய் உண்டதுண்டு ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி தெய்வம் இங்கு உணவு படைக்கும் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி தெய்வம் இங்கு உணவு படைக்கும் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி வரப்பிரசாதம் பெற்றிடவே பெற்ற வரம் யாம் அறியோம் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி இத்திலியை நீ அளிக்க ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி வாழ்வில் இடர்கள் நீங்குதம்மா ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி இத்திலியை நீ அளிக்க ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி வாழ்வில் இடர்கள் நீங்குதம்மா ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி சட்டினியை நீ அளிக்க சட்டனவே சங்கடங்கள் சடுதியிலே மறையுதம்மா ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி உயிர்க்கெல்லாம் உணவளிக்கும் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி சாம்பாரை நீ ஊற்ற ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி எங்கள் அகங்காரம் அழியுதம்மா ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி சாம்பாரை நீ ஊற்ற ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி எங்கள் அகங்காரம் அழியுதம்மா ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி நித்ய ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஓங்கார ரூபிணி நீ ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி ஓங்கார ரூபிணி நீ பாங்காக பரிமாற பாவங்கள் கரையுதம்மா
Paramashivoham